Wagwan listeners, viewers, people of the world, you're listening to Foolcast, the Immigrant Fools podcast. If you're currently listening to this on Spotify, we want to remind you we have a YouTube account, Foolcast. If you're on YouTube, we want to remind you this is also on Spotify, so look us up there. We appreciate every viewer and listener. If you want to support us, our support link is in the description of the Spotify episode. Number 12. But are we at 12 or 13?
We're at 12.
12. Episode 12, baby.
Homies keeping count. I like that.
Damn straight, bro. Be on top of your shit.
Well, today is my day for presentation. And well, boys, here's what I came up with. Are any of y'all familiar with the halo effect?
The halo effect?
Well, my dear fat man Dow.
How do you
the
spell
halo
this?
effect.
How do you spell this?
Do you know how to spell halo?
Halo. I thought you said bro. I thought you said
Halo. You said halo, bitch.
It's a halo effect, dickhead. When did I
said halo.
Halo effect, bitch.
Halo effect.
Halo, homie. But anyways, to my point, the halo effect is a type of cognitive bias in which our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their character. Does that form any basis of information
So
for y'all?
it's basically
Yes.
forming a bias before.
Is it implicit bias?
Basically, the first impression you get is how you base their whole character about a human being.
Uh-huh.
Well, research on
Yeah.
the phenomenon known as the halo effect was pioneered by the American psychologist Edward L. Thorndike, your fellow Scandinavian brethren, my brother Elijah,
Yes,
who
sir.
in 1920 reported the existence of the effect in which commanding officers were asked to rate their subordinates on intelligence, physique, leadership, and character without having spoken to the subordinates. Dr. Thorndike noted a correlation between unrelated positive and negative traits. Now, pay attention. Here's where it kicks in. The service members who were found to be taller and more attractive were also rated to be more intelligent and as better soldiers. Thorndike determined from this experiment that people generalize from one outstanding trait to form a favorable view of a person and their whole personality. Now, my question to y'all, both of y'all motherfuckers, now pay attention. Have you ever in the past rated someone's character or behavior based on their first impression or the first impression that you made of them?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, definitely. But definitely when it's more of a stranger, like if you speak with them like frequently or more after the first impression, then it can change, obviously. But like, yeah, if you're just meeting someone for the first time, I mean anybody for the first time, yeah. It's true. But then what you think of them can change.
Yeah, it changes because you just get to know them. I mean, I guess that's kind of the whole thing of the halo effect is just the people you get to know, because you can't really have first impressions of someone you already talked to. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I honestly think though, it depends though. It depends on how good of a judge of character you are, because typically at least a huge amount of what I assume about a person is correct.
And would you say it's just our animalistic instinct to place good attributes on attractive living things or beings, or is it just a result from a form of social filtering?
I think there's something to that. Yeah.
To which one?
To your first point being like,
I
we'll try to like I don't know. It sounds bad, but like pick out like the ones that don't look as good in like the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, I want to be with their friend because they look healthy or some shit.
Well, I agree. I understand that, right? Because I think what Pepe said, it kind of coincides together, right? Because you're doing that, you're kind of socially filtering people too, but you are picking people out because of that. Because you are trying to find people that you at least get along with, So it's like, if I get weird vibes off of you that like I probably won't vibe with you, why would I try to talk to you even more.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
And I think the thing with judging people, because like you're not supposed to judge people, but everyone fucking judges, you know, especially first impressions. But I think it's wrong if you judge a person and then base everything, even when you get to know them, on that judgment.
Yeah, that's messed up for sure.
Yeah,
You have to allow them to show you a different side of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, yeah, one thing I wanted to mention before we move quickly, I don't even remember like the people that I'm really close with, like y'all, and any other people that I'm really close friends with. I dead ass do not remember what they were like when I met them, because like my brain kind of like blacks out our like first like not even long spans of time. I'm just saying in general, like as I get to know a person, I tend to forget my first impressions of them.
Really? I'd say it was
Yeah, bro. I do not remember. Like everyone's like, what do you remember when we met? Or like, what about me when we met? I don't fucking remember shit, bro. Like I don't remember when we meet. I just remember when we start to click. Like click. You know what I'm saying?
I feel quite the opposite, because because you stay with them and you've had a long-lasting relationship, is that long-lasting impression from the first time that you met is what, you know, clicks, and automatically, you know, it clicks the chemistry, in my opinion. Because me, I remember you, Elijah, from like the first time we interacted, the first few couple of times. Not gonna lie, you were an annoying ass piece of shit.
100%.
Yo, I was like, low key, you kind of a kid in high school. I was like, fuck, this man.
This man's high-pitched voice, it made me actually irritated as fuck. But that's not even when I was depressed, bro. This is when the starting stages of my sadness kicked in, and I felt this nigga's presence, bro. It annoyed the shit out of me. But he was like, it's just like his character was as a good human being, that I didn't allow just the first impression of him, you know, allow me to place an ugly ass judgment upon him. You feel me?
100%.
And then Tato is just his vibe. And also because he was an athlete, that was cool too. It's just his vibe, the way he carries himself as a quiet, stoic ass human being, bro.
You wasn't stoic. This man was just quiet. He was quiet and shy as fuck when we first met him.
But I don't know.
I think you mean
automatically
now.
clicked. I think it's because we were both immigrants and we know we could relate to one another's like problems, because you know, third world problems and shit. But I think other than that, it's just I saw this man as a cool ass human being, and then he had that like early era Justin Bieber ass hairdo. I thought that shit was cool as fuck. Not no gay shit, but I thought he was a cool ass human being as a teenager.
Yeah, for sure, bro. So, yeah. He's chill as hell. 100%.
Well, to go on further with my point, here's another social experiment concerning the similar topic. In 1946, a Polish-born psychologist, Solomon Asch, personally probably related to you and your brethren, my fellow Scandinavian brother Elijah, found that the way in which individuals form impressions of one another involved a primary effect, derived from early or initial information. Now pay attention, gentlemen, pay attention. Participants in the experiment were read two lists of adjectives, oh my goodness, adjectives that described a person. The adjectives on the list were the same, but the order was reversed. So basically, the first list had adjectives that went from positive to negative, while the second one was presented with adjectives that went from negative to positive. How the participant rated the one person depended on the order in which the adjectives were read. When the positive traits were presented first, from positive to negative, the participants rated the person as more favorably. But then, pay attention. When the order was changed to introduce the negative traits first, the same person was rated with less favor. Now, I ask you, gentlemen of the crowd, gentlemen of the audience, and gentlemen right here before me, as I present this presentation, would you perceive a human being as a person of good or bad intention based on the order on the order of ways they are described by somebody else? I.e., let's say a job description.
Yeah, obviously. Well,
yes.
I think it's gonna be a mix of you kind of forming your own impressions of how they really are, and then with how you heard about them, you know.
Wait, are you saying these adjectives were given before someone had even like met the person that they're being
Exactly. They didn't see the person at all.
Well, yeah, if you had not met them before and you never interacted with them, you would definitely like tend to think about them the way they were described first.
Would you say that's more of an immature stance? Because maybe somebody of a mature mental capacity would say, it's not me to judge based on the presented adjectives. Maybe it's the person who's presenting. Well, basically, here's my question: would you say the authority or position of the person using those same descriptions holds the present? Fuck.
I know what you're saying.
The authority or position the person using those same descriptions that they hold at that present moment would influence your impression of the person that they are describing.
Well, yeah, because, bro, like, if you've never spoke with them, like, whatever they're described as first tends to be what, like,
People
actually that person thought of them. But then again, you can't judge a book by its cover. Like, sure, you can say all that shit, but, like, you can't.
Like I said earlier, though, I think, like, I wouldn't say it's immature, right? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's immature, but it's not the best thing to do, to judge someone, like, based off that. But at the same time, who the fuck doesn't judge people, You are always gonna judge everyone that you met, that you haven't, like, you don't know yet, that you haven't formed a connection with, Every fucking person that you walk past by at the, like, down the street, you're gonna fucking judge them. Like, just a little bit judge them. And because you don't know them, but just by what they wear, how they talk, how they walk, how you see them interact with other people, you're gonna judge them.
Mm-hmm.
But you just can't base that. You can't just base your actions or your interactions with other people, with that individual, based off those initial judgments.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it primal though, or do you think it's sad that we choose to perceive?
Oh, it's definitely primal because
it's just instinct, kind of. It's back of your mind.
Because if you think about it, right, it has to be primal because you need to identify if you're gonna be in danger.
You have to identify, like, the safety of the group.
Yeah, because if you aren't able to judge at all, then it's like if somebody walks at you with, like, something like underneath their sweater or whatever, it's like, you need to identify if you are potentially going to die or get beat,
Yeah, facts.
It's tough though, man, to think that one thing could affect our whole livelihoods. Even like when we pick, like, let's say a big opportunity comes your way, but then you believe it's a scam. But then it was actually a real ass, like, It
was an actual opportunity.
Exactly, bro. And that can just fuck you over. But then at the same time, like Dow said previously, it does come from experience and, the knowledge from, like, situations that you learn from previous outcomes and shit like that, bro. But yeah, it just is how it is. Well, that's the end of my presentation.
Oh, the thing is, right, I think with all that, with everything in life in general, you really just gotta weigh the cost and benefit of it, and that's why some people are successful, some people aren't, because some people are willing to take risks while some people are too scared to take the risk, and
Facts.
So I don't know, it just depends on the person themselves, because it's like, if we just cannot use one thing too much, too much of anything isn't good for you. So if you base all your decisions and how you treat people based off of their first impressions too much, because you think your first impressions is like really good, I guess, then you'll never get anywhere in life, like you'll have like the worst, I guess, description of how people really are.
True, because you gotta give people, like, chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is just Dow telling me, Eli, stop acting a fool and actually give every girl a chance. Stop being stupid.
Well, there's red flags too, like there definitely is. You can't just go in, like I said, too much of something is bad. So you can't just go in blindly and be like, oh, I'm gonna trust every fucking one. You know, you can't do that because at that point you're fucking yourself over.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
You just gotta use common sense. At the end of the day, just use common sense.
Yep, common sense, and yeah, you can never make a first impression and hold the first impression forever, kind of, because your impression will change over time.
Definitely. I'll say this though, like I said in the beginning, my first impressions are pretty fucking accurate. I'm just like,
yes,
fuck.
you read people pretty well, dog. I ain't gonna cap.
If I pick up like a fucking cocky ass vibe from someone, then
dude, I pick up a fucking stuck up cocky vibe in an instant, dog.
Yes,
I fucking picked that up so quick.
Those fucking people, like it's something about them that you could just tell.
Bro, they're just like, I'm the hottest shit in the game type, and they just like, they just ooze that energy. It's like my life is the dopest life, and y'all ain't shit.
Yeah, and the thing too is that, right, it's not because there's a difference between being like cocky and stuck up rather than being outgoing, you know, and like because outgoing people, they're very more inclusive, you know, and they believe in
outgoing and respectful.
Yeah, they're very respectful, but cocky fuckers are like, they think they're the shit, and that's good to think you're the shit, you know. A lot of people like are very successful because they think
you
like
need
that.
Self-esteem.
Yeah. But at the same time, they think they're the only shit. they don't give a fuck about you at all, unless you bring some value to them. So it's
wait. So the difference between being cocky and being stuck up is cocky, you can be a dickhead, but you can say everybody else is a dickhead.
No. We're not saying there's a different. We are using those to describe a certain type of people.
Understood.
Those are two different things. Because being
I
cocky.
don't get social awareness. Even though I'm extroverted, I still don't get social awareness as much as both of y'all. And I'm older than both of you, so that makes no fucking sense to me, yo.
Social awareness of how people act,
bro. I'm telling you, dude, it's not anything to do with age, bro. It's just different minds.
I know what it is that how you interpret people, not how you interpret, what you pick up, what you kind of catalog in your own head and like pick up from other people that you see.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's not really age. It's just, I don't know.
Bro, I would not even say, Pepe, you're that. I mean, you are extroverted, but you're not that extroverted.
No, yeah. Nowadays, I choose to like stick in my lane and be more of an observer than a shower. You get me?
You've been a hermit for a fucking año, bro. You've been a hermit for a year, bro.
At this point, I don't have an issue. I don't know. To this point, bro, I don't understand the concept of FOMO. How are you afraid of missing out on an opportunity that you don't even have a clue how it's gonna end up in the future, dog? You get me, bro?
You're missing out, bro.
Yeah, bro,
I don't get it anymore. I used to be afraid of missing out on a lot of shit, but then the way my pops used to ground me, he put me down, he humbled my ass. He just got me to the point of not giving a fuck no more about FOMO. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
that's good though. That's good. That means that you're just gonna be focusing on yourself.
Yeah,
man. I'm pretty glad about the upbringing I got. I used to be hateful about it, but now I get it.
Good shit, bro. Good shit.
Yeah, man. Lockdown taught me a lot of shit, man. I beat my meat a lot, but I learned a lot of shit, you know.
That's all you can do, big man. All right, boys. I think is that gonna wrap it up, Pepe? What do we say?
Thank you so much, dear audience viewers, dear audience listeners, and you know, to everybody upon the globe listening, watching, viewing, all of that shit. We appreciate you for taking the time out of your hands. Have a blessed day. Do not forget to recycle. Go help out your local community. Go buy a quick ass meal from your local business and restaurant. All of that shit, man. Just help out your fellow human being. But watch yourself. Watch yourself too. Stay 10 toes attentive, wide eyes cautious, nigga. Deuces.